What up, guys? Jason Guyman here with King of Christmas Lights, and tonight I'm going to answer the top need to, how much do I need? So the next thing is what type of insurance do I need, right? What type of insurance do I need for my Christmas light install business? And so that question, am I on the right place? Let's try something here. Am I on the Christmas light page, or am I on the? If someone could answer, please. Or am I on the pressure washing page? Because if I'm on the pressure washing page, I'm going to switch back over. Um, but there I am. So, what questions? These are some questions. Again, number 9 is, do I need to do I own the lights? Do I sell the lights? What do I do with these lights? And so the biggest thing that I would tell you, the best way to do it is leasing the lights. You own the lights, and this is the best way to make money. A lot of times people are like, but what if they ask? And so I will hit on another way that you can go about doing your Christmas lights if you want to actually like sell the lights, per se. And I'll kind of give you a good way that you can still make decent money at even selling the lights. But honestly, I would say that we do not sell the lights, we do not rent the lights, we do not lease the lights, right? This is a red carpet service. It is an all inclusive, all done for you service. We show up, we design it, because if we about a red carpet service, right? It is all about the service that we're going to provide to our customers. And so this is why when I say $8 to $12 a foot, I'm meaning $8 to $12 a foot for a service, right? I'm not renting them, I'm not leasing them, I'm not doing any of that stuff. So that's what I'm talking about, how I'm able to do this here. So the next thing is, so I was going to say another way that you can do it is if you are going to sell the lights, and I know somebody that does this up in Toledo area, and he sells them at $14 to $16 a foot. And what he does is he sells them the lights for $14 to $16 a foot, and then he comes back every year for 50% to reinstall them back up. So he still takes care of everything. He's still doing all the work. He's making a lot more money up front than he is over the time. And so basically what he says is you know what, if you buy the lights for $14 to $16 a foot, and if you have any problems in the first 3 years, I will replace those lights in those 3 years, right? That will be my warranty for it. And so that's how we're able to do a service that is, that we want to, for the people that want to buy the lights, because there's people out there like, do I own the lights or do I not? And so this is a great way that we're able to sell the lights, but we're going to sell them at the $14 to $16 a foot, so that way we're still going to get the $7 to $8 a foot to reinstall every year, because it's all about how we can make profit, right? It's about profit, so that way we're able to make money. Number 8, another great question that gets asked a lot, is where do I buy Christmas lights, right? Where do I buy my Christmas lights? And so obviously I'm going to tell you to go to christmaslights.io/L, or you can go to christmaslights.io/lights. And there is a great place that you can do it. Right now, if you do buy early, there is some good pricing going on. You can get the starter pack, and if you get the 1,000-foot 15-inch starter pack, you're about $1.30 a foot, and that's all. And that's your clips, that's your bulbs, that's your wire, that's everything. So it's a very good deal. It's about $1,100. Almost, it's a little under $1,200, and that gets you 1,000 feet, which 1,000 feet is a great place to start. And so, if you want to know how many houses you can do with 1,000 feet, generally speaking, each house is about 150 to 175 feet long. I generally say 200 feet. So it's 5 houses. So that way, if I run over, if I run less, I got bonus, right? The last thing you want to do is run out of lights. And that's a sucky thing to do when we run out of lights, right? So we don't want to run out of lights. Can I see my comments over here? There we go. I want to see my comments. There we go. So that's something that we don't want to do when we run out of lights here for your business. Number 8, how do I handle the customers that think that I'm going to be able to get them for cheap, right? A lot of people think that if you start out cheap, so the question would be, should I start out cheap my first year and then get some customers and then raise my prices? And what I would say to that is I really don't agree with that, because what happens is then you start out cheap, and then as you try to grow, you stay cheap and you never raise your pricing. And so when you never raise your pricing, that's the problem when you don't raise your prices. So that's why I tell you to start out at the $8 to $12 a foot. I know I get pushback of, you can't get this in my area, Jason, you just don't understand. I understand, right? I understand the value. Right now I've got a guy, Daniel, he did over $175,000 in 2023, and he's already got almost $400,000 booked in 2024. And so that's what I'm talking about, right? That's how you're able to grow your Christmas light business, so that way you can keep growing your business. Next question I get asked a lot is, how's the best way to get customers, right? What's the best way to do marketing? And what I would say is there's a lot of ways to do marketing. Your Google My Business. Now, I will tell you, if you don't know, your Google My Business can be really hard now. Actually, the guy I was talking to, his Google My Business got suspended last night. I've known a lot of people's Google My Business is getting suspended. If you have your address on it, it can get suspended. There's a lot of them getting suspended as of this week. Between the pressure washing and Christmas lights, I've already known about 6 or 7 people who have gotten their stuff suspended this week. So it's not, if you do get suspended, there's some things that you got to do to try to get it back up. And so your Google My Business definitely is something that you want to get your Google My Business up, or otherwise it can cause you a lot of problems to do this. So that's something that you definitely want to make sure that you get your Google My Business up. So if you value your time and your work, you shouldn't have a problem getting 15 to 18 to be confident in your work and pricing. And this is honestly is the confidence, right? If you're confident in your work and price, you will have no problem getting more out of it. But the biggest thing that you have to do is be confident of what you're doing. And I agree 100% on this. And so as you are growing, these are some things that you have to look at growing your business. So number 6, the number 6 question that I get asked a lot is, why do I charge $6? Why do I charge $8 to $12 a foot, right? I can buy these lights for $1.30 a foot, $1.50 a foot. Why do I need to be at $8, $12, $15 a foot? And here's the reason why. One, we are up on a roof, right? There's a good chance that you could maybe fall off and get injured, maybe your employees, and then just the cost of business. Yes, the lights may cost you $1.30 a foot, $1.40 a foot. I always just say $2 a foot, because time you figure your timers, your extra wire, your extra females, all of that kind of adds up faster than what you think. And so that's why I always say $2 a foot. But the reason why that we do is, and then a lot of people are like, well, I will just lower my price way down next year. I'll do it for $8 a foot. Next year, I'll do it for $4 because I don't need to buy the lights. Well, the lights are only $2 or $1.50 a foot, so why are we cutting it in half in the first place? You still got to pay your insurance. You still got to buy leads. You still got to do the things you need to do to grow your Christmas light business. So these are things that you should be doing so that way you don't go out of business, because the last thing you want to do is go out of business. And this is not really a thing that, there's a lot of profit in Christmas lights, and there's a lot of people I know that work 5 months out of the year and make enough money to not do anything else. And so as we are looking at Christmas lights, as we are trying to grow our Christmas light business, these are the things that you need to do. So if you've got any questions, put them down here in the comments. I'm always up for answering your questions. I like your guys' questions. I know that I don't have a lot of people on here because I'm only on YouTube, because my signal wouldn't go to Facebook too. So that's kind of where I'm at. I may go live on Facebook here in a little bit, just so that way I can do both. If you didn't know, I do have a Facebook group, just Christmas Lights. If you go to christmaslights.io/group, you can find it there. So these are things, again, I know I've kind of jumped around here and I've hit on more than one of your frequently asked questions. Again, we get asked these questions all the time. Another great question that gets asked all the time is, do I need insurance? And what kind of insurance? And the answer is yes, you do need insurance. And so the kind of insurance that you need is workers' comp or general liability insurance. So if something happens and say the house burns down, you got it covered. The next insurance is if you're doing employees, you need workers' comp. So workers' comp is another insurance that you will need to be able to do it. Another great question is how do I pay my employees? Should I subcontract or do I need to do an employee? The real answer is you probably need to do an employee, because if that employee gets hurt, you're going to be liable. And if you don't have workers' comp on that person, you're going to be the one paying it out of pocket. It's not going to be the person. So that's an important thing of making sure that they're an employee. Number 4 is, how much do I pay an employee, right? How much do you pay an employee? Well, I know people that pay it per foot. I know people that will pay it $1 or $2 per foot per crew. So it's like $2 per crew. You got to split it up, and that's how they charge to do the labor for the Christmas lights. 15, $20 an hour for a helper, $20 to $30, $40, $50 for a lead guy, because the lead guy should be a good roof guy and that can lead work. And so those are the reasons why we're going to want those types of people up there, so that way we can do this. Number 3 question we get asked a lot is, should I go buy Home Depot lights? And the answer is no. Home Depot lights are junk. And if you want junk lights, those would be a good place to go. If you don't want junk lights, I wouldn't recommend it. The C9 of those are not near as good as the C9 of the LED commercial grades. So those are things that you may want to think about when you're doing your Christmas lights. But other than that, if you guys got any questions, I'd love to hear it. I've only gotten one comment. I don't know if my comment's not working or what, but I'd love to hear some comments and seeing what your all thoughts are on Christmas lights. Again, I know that I don't know, I normally run this on my Facebook group and me too, but I didn't have enough internet to be able to do all of those. So, but other than that, if I don't get no questions, I'm probably going to jump off here and jump into the Facebook group and do a live in there, because I get a lot of activity out of that. And so that's probably what I'm going to hit on next, if you all don't have no questions or they're not coming through. But other than that, I hope you all have a great night, and we'll talk at y'all later.